Great to be joined today by Scott Millar from BOP.
Hey guys.
Interesting name, BOP.
Yeah, it stands for Buy Our Product actually. Kept it from the business venture and yeah, it's fun and quirky just like us and it's kind of stuck.
Yeah, and you've got a very interesting product. So it's like hologram technology. There's obviously a lot of interesting places to explore its usage.
Absolutely. So we create holograms like you see in Star Wars and Iron Man, from the size of phone and tablet up to our life-size 2-meter tall unit. So essentially it's an inverted pyramid that gets light shot up off a tablet or a phone or screen of some description, a projector for our 2-meter tall ones. And create the illusion of a floating image on the four faces. So you can see 360 degrees, the same image, different images, things like that. So yeah, what we found it's fantastic for is bringing a bit of magic back to technology. So we've been using it a lot in the events industry with holographic centerpieces, holographic MCs and everything like that. So instead of having a pamphlet with your speaker headshots and bios, you can have a speaker standing there in a hologram on the center of your table saying, "Hi guys, I'm Scott, I'm really excited to be at the conference today, I'll be talking about such and such." And yeah, quickly finding that it's a real platform technology. So developing different units with different uses and different abilities for a range of different industries.
Yeah, I love technology. I don't understand it. I'm still trying to work out how my voice goes into a handset, gets turned into ones and zeros, and gets sent to the other side of the world and gets reassembled, and someone knows it's my voice. I'm still trying to get my head around that.
So am I, don't worry.
And the pictures, when I'm up in the sky, 33,000 feet, and I can receive an image that someone's emailed me, I'm still trying to work out how all those ones and zeros.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I love what technology does. So let's talk a little bit about where you guys are actually at.
Yeah.
Do you think in terms of social capital, do you think you know who you need to know in order to get the success that you're aiming for?
Yeah, so we've been in the game for a few years now, which has been really advantageous for us while we've been finishing high school. So we've already made a lot of connections and I've got a fantastic network around me, but it's just about leveraging those connections now. Probably making a few more connections in different industries as we expand. So we've got a lot of connections in the event space and everything like that, but we'd love some more in like the corporate space and just different industries as we expand into that. Yeah, so leveraging the connections and making some more would be fantastic.
Cool. What about knowledge itself in terms of either the technological knowledge or industry knowledge? Do you think you know what it actually is you need to know in order to succeed with a further development?
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that we do need a bit of help with, is the technical knowledge. I've just gotten a hologram developer and a content creator on board now that can create really stunning 3D images. Can also build the units for us, but still we're going up against companies that have got millions of dollars to throw at holograms and building the best units they can. So having experts on the team that really understand light and holograms and everything like that and how it works would be fantastic.
Fantastic. And what about your ability to access? Are there any sort of really value or important resources that you are able to get access to or wanting to get access to?
Yeah, definitely. So one resource that we've been looking at a lot is Advanced Queensland funding. They've got some fantastic grants that we're definitely eligible for. It's just about finding the right grants, the right projects to use them for. As well as that too, corporate sponsorship is another route we've looked down that could be worth further exploration.
Fantastic. Do you think, having been out there now for a while, do you think people actually understand what it actually is you're doing? How much time do you have to actually spend explaining? We refer to this as cognitive legitimacy, so how much time do you spend explaining rather than selling?
That's a big pain point for us at the moment, is a lot of our marketing is in the form of a content marketing strategy. We do a lot of educating and we also try and get our holograms out to as many events and as many spaces as we can. We find people don't really know this technology exists yet. When they do see it, their mind is just blown. So for us, it's what we've been doing so far is getting out to as many events, as many spaces as we can and having our hologram set up, because once people see it, they totally understand it. But it's until that they can see it for themselves or visualize or understand it that's a bit tricky for us. So also too, we've been putting together PDFs for our clients that gives them everything they need to know about holograms, writing articles on how they work, why they're important, what's good for them in events. But yeah, definitely need to raise the awareness that the holograms are out there and what they're capable of.
Fantastic. And in terms of socio-political legitimacy, do you bump into people who don't approve of what it actually is you're trying to do in this space, or is it generally fairly supportive?
Yeah, it's fairly supportive. We bump into the occasional person that's like, oh no, it's just light reflections. They don't really they get a bit cranky because it's not exactly like Star Wars, but we always keep saying it's the first step on the way. Like, you've got to get started somewhere, and this is where we're getting started. But on the whole, we've had a really good reception.
Cool. The actual space that you're operating, it sounds like it's a very multi-dimensional sort of space, lots of different applications. In terms of other developers who have sort of walked before you, or are you doing something in parallel to you now, do you understand why other people are succeeding in and around this space? Do you understand why some people are crashing and burning in this space? Yeah,
definitely. I think we're still in a very new space with only a handful of companies around the world working in holograms. But this industry is meant to be worth upwards of $5 billion US by 2020, so it's going to grow pretty rapidly. I've seen there have been a few companies that have gotten way too caught up in the technicalities. You'll talk to them. I know I had a friend that met them for the first time. They said it took them 15 minutes to realise that they worked in the hologram space just because they got caught up in the technicalities, how it works. That's one thing that we have a really strong point of difference on is we're really good at marketing, we're really good at networking and making things really simple. Myself especially, I'm not overly techie myself, so I've learned this technology as we go, so I can really dumb it down and make it really simple for people. I have seen a lot of companies succeed where they've been able to raise the awareness and create really stunning products, and I think that's a area that we really need to capitalise on, is making the most visually appealing products we can, and also making the products as simple to use as possible. So literally flick a button and it turns on, or swipe an iPad and get a new hologram up, making it as simple and as pretty as possible.
Cool. We get the students to think about this notion of the environment as not being this one almost unmeasurable thing that relates to us all, but to scale it back to the specific things that work for or against an actual idea. So when we think about what you're trying to do, what do you think are the specific factors that work against the development of your further development of your idea?
Yeah, I think the issues that work against our idea is the fact that there are a couple of companies over in Europe and in Japan that have got millions of dollars to throw at the holograms. I know one of our competitors, DreamHawk. They're based in Europe, I believe Denmark. They just pump out unit after unit. I think they moved 10 or 20,000 units last year. They do charge considerably more than we do. I think they charge around $20,000 to $25,000 a unit that we would charge 8 to 10 for. But they just pump out like mass-produced units. But I think as well it's about raising that awareness that the holograms exist is another big issue we've got. Once people know they exist, they're like, where do I sign? But just getting them to understand it is a big issue for us.
And what about in terms of those factors in the environment that are working for you?
Factors in the environment that work for us is we have a fantastic story. So I started my company back in grade 9. I've grown it from like keyrings at markets, now run events across the country. So we really do like to leverage on that story. It's a great PR piece and gets us in the press a lot. And also too leveraging that with our products. As well as that too, people love like the next big thing, and holograms, if you look at the trend curve of technologies, holograms aren't even on there yet, so it's going to be a big couple of years as it starts to get on the trend curve, but people are really excited about this new technology. It's very much a buzz at the moment, and it's really visually appealing, so people love it.
Cool. In terms of value creation, we think about the value chain, raw inputs into high quality outputs, value shop using an existing set of resources in different ways to solve other people's different problems, and value networks, so leveraging networks, social media and the like to create value. Where do you see your value being created?
Yeah, so we create a lot of value for our customers. We can take one unit and use it across multiple verticals. So we can take the same unit that we use for events and use it in retail, use it in real estate, and use it in the corporate space. So being able to reuse our products and also to recycle them. So one thing that we're looking to offer for our clients now is if they buy one of our units, they can, in 6 or 12 months' time, exchange that for a new unit, and we can recycle the parts of our old unit and use it to build new ones. So we do a lot of work with recycling, and also to utilising underused screens. So we use I know we found tens and hundreds of people that have got iPads that are just sitting around home that they bought when iPads were all the rage, but have just kind of trailed off now. So being able to reuse iPads and screens and everything like that, and breathe a fresh breath of life into them.
Cool. In terms of the way you're sort of structuring yourself to interact with other stakeholders in the marketplace, we talk about co-actions, a chance for you, trying to achieve as many win-win outcomes as you can. Is that something that you're mindful of, or you've been able to create a way of sort of being a good player in the ecosystem, and sort of other people are winning because you're winning?
Yeah, absolutely. So with our holograms, we find that our clients love them because we get an opportunity to showcase our holograms and our technology, but then we find, for example, at events, people are taking photos of the holograms with our client's product inside it. So they might share a photo with a GHD hair straightener in it.
Yep.
GHD wins, they'll tweet about it. GHD wins because their product is in a hologram and that's being spruiked, and then our holograms are in the photo as well. So there's a great deal of social media interaction there, and also too, because a lot of people haven't seen the holograms before, they'll go and spread it through word of mouth as well.
Yeah.
And as well as that too, we also offer the option for our clients where they can buy a $8,000 hologram unit, which is an upfront payment for them, but then they can find companies to advertise in that hologram space. So Virgin Australia might have a hologram in their lounge, but they might have 10 different companies paying them $200 a month or something like that for their content to be spinning in the hologram, so they can make some money back after that.
Cool. In terms of the way you're structuring yourself, you think you're taking a short term, we refer that as an R strategy, so you're still trying to sort of, you're speculating, experimenting, you don't really want to own too much, you want to, buy, beg and lease and all those sorts of things, versus owning the world and scaling up for economies of scale. Where do you sort of see yourself?
Yeah, we're very much coming into the scaling phase now. We've had the past few years where we can, as well as like studying full time, but we can play around with some different designs, work with different clients in different industries.
Yep.
And we've really solidified what works, what doesn't work, who our clients are and how much they're willing to pay. So now we've got that solid foundation, we're ready to start scaling.
Coca-Cola Australia has the most generalist product in terms of their strategic aims. Their desire is to put a can of Coke in the hands of every person on the planet, right? Not sure that does to the health of everyone on the planet. But in terms of where you see the development of the technology, is this a sort of a specialist outcome? There's a certain group, subset of people that you see this being applicable to? Or is it something that you see everybody could benefit from actually engaging with this technology?
Yeah, so we found that holograms are real platform technology. They can apply to people of all ages across all industries. So whilst it does take us time to develop solutions for each new use case in each new industry, I think it is a very versatile product that has got a really general consumption.
Okay, cool. We talk about energy. That's where I'm hoping the students can provide the most interesting value to you and provide you with some interesting suggestions. So energy is something that you could use to your advantage that you can't own or control. So we quite often use the example of the surfer who can't own the ocean, can't own the waves, but can find the right beach to go to and can choose the right waves and use their own skill to surf it and to obviously have that satisfaction. So are there things that you see out in the world that you sort of see yourself being able to tap into, sort of move yourself forward?
Absolutely. We found the holograms because they can display literally anything you can display on a screen. And they take really beautiful photos. You can really tap into that social media side of things and help make things go viral. So, for example, whether it was a hologram of Princess Leia or even just a hologram of like minions from Despicable Me running around inside the holograms, they get a lot of traction and a lot of engagement. So definitely being able to display all sorts of different content like that in the holograms. And also to creating holograms for specific events and different things that have happened. So for example, you could have a hologram of a Christmas tree spinning around at Christmas time, a hologram of a love heart on Valentine's Day, stuff like that.
So I suppose also the fact that there's a fascination with a lot of the government bodies on really smart young technology entrepreneurs, that must create some energy for you too, the fact that there are people who naturally want to support and be interested in what you might be doing?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of backing for young entrepreneurs these days, and I think we're very much in vogue at the moment. So that's been a really fantastic thing that we've been able to leverage, and look forward to continuing leveraging while we can is the whole we're young entrepreneurs. We're also too working in tech. Tech's got such a big buzz around it at the moment.
And the other one that I can imagine would be something like the competitors that you speak of that have all the millions of dollars. You know, is it possible they may be able to do some heavy lifting for you and actually create more acceptance and cognitive legitimacy around
absolutely.
this sort of form of energy? As long as you stay in their shadow and strategically aren't the same sort of thing, that could be great energy for you too.
Absolutely, they've been doing a great job at educating and educating the public. They've done holograms of Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Tupac and everything like that. So as soon as you mention a hologram, people either say Star Wars or Tupac. So they've been really good at doing stuff like that, and that's where we can leverage off the awareness that they've raised and said, yeah, it's kind of like Tupac, except we do it this way.
Yeah, cool.
So being able to leverage off their marketing budgets and their everything like that.
Cool. Now, the big question obviously for the students is that they want a how-to statement, right? So what are we challenging these students with? How's the what?
I have 2 how-to statements, so I'd be interested to see what the students resonate with. The first one would be, how are we able to educate our clients and educate the public as we grow? As I mentioned, a big issue that we've got is just telling people that holograms exist, this is how they work, and this is what you can do with them. So how can we do that in an effective marketing strategy that isn't a 20-page PDF, something like that? And the other one would be one point of difference that we have from the big companies, we can create really bespoke solutions for different industries and different clients. So a lot of our competitors have 3 different products that they just push out to everyone. Whereas we, for example, a few weeks ago we had a big real estate association came to us and said, hey, we want to use these in real estate. How can we do that? So we got their pain points, what they're looking for, how much they're looking to spend, and we designed a whole suite of products for real estate agents and agencies. So how we're able to scale that bespoke design of products as we scale the company.
Okay, how to, scale. Cool, fantastic. Now these students are going to offer you something, any words of advice to them on how you like to approach it? Would you like them to give you some, I'm sure you don't, some deadly, boring, serious 2-minute videos, or would you like them to sort of, break a leg and have some fun?
Absolutely, get creative, guys. I'd love to see what you come up with. I'm very much like an arts kid, performing arts background and everything like that, so I'd love to be entertained. Please show me, I'm a very visual learner. I love people that have got high energy and everything like that. So make it as visually appealing as possible. If there's something, one thing I love to say is, if you've got a pretty product, no matter how bad it is, you can sell it. So make it pretty, make it entertaining for me, please. And let me know if you have any questions. Hope to hear from you all soon.